Check, 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 check. Can you hear me? Check, check, check. I hope so. That does not look promising. Can you hear me? Okay. Hopefully this is working. I may have to do it again, which would be a drag. Check, 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 check. I don't see the mic thing moving, so that worries me. All right, you guys can hear me? Okay. That's good. I took a chance and tried the microphone that's built into my webcam that I haven't used before. I don't know why I did that, but it's worked so good. Awesome. All right. So what was I saying before we were so rudely interrupted? I was just talking about how great the Artist Project is. It's a show. It's at the Better Living Center this weekend, Thursday evening for the opening night, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Toronto's biggest show for independent artists rather than artists who are represented by galleries. Art Toronto at the Convention Center in October or November is the biggest one for that. So yay! I'm glad you guys can hear me. That's so good. I'm like, okay, good, all good. So I will be there for the third time. I am going to have tickets available for you guys. And I'm going to enlist Kim to be my hat draw. So please stick around if the live stream. We're going to do that at 3 p.m. So I will just ask, like, who wants tickets for opening night? I have 2 pairs for their opening night, and I have 2 pairs, not 2 pair, 2 tickets, 1 pair to 1 person for the opening night on Thursday, and I have 1 pair of tickets for the other 3 days. You can use them whichever of the 3 days you want, just not the opening night. And what I'll do is I'll get you guys to just say you're interested in the chat, and anyone who's interested, I'll draw the names, or I'll get Kim to draw them, and the tickets are yours. I'll need your email address, so but we'll get to that point. But there aren't going to be a ton of people here because it's a small group, so your odds are good, right? So, all right. So I'm going to finally I'm going to switch to the overhead camera and get this party started. So meanwhile, let us know in the comments, are you using the theme? Do you I've never been to Mexico. I really know very little about Mexico. My grandparents used to, in the 70s, used to go there for the winters, but I've never been. I think Kim's been once. So, hey, Carol, Janice, Rebecca, Annie, Valerie, Lisa. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys found your way along. I hope everyone else can join us soon. That'd be great. All right, let's get this party started. So the screen's going to go black as usual while I switch to the overhead camera. But do not adjust your set. Hopefully you can still hear me. And it occurs to me that I'm moving the mic around because it's one and the same as the camera. So hopefully it sounds all right. All right. So, okay, this color is terrible, but I thought I'd just quickly share with you this hot off the press, my third book. This is actually a brilliant lime green, so it's actually not, the color reproduction is not ideal. I'm going to try putting this light on. I'm not sure it's going to help, but perhaps it will a little bit. No, not really. Okay, so it's really not going to be the best sales pitch for it because this is a beautiful book. It's very much akin to the previous ones. It'll talk about the last year. And each spread is like, yeah, the color is terrible on my monitor. I hope it's better for you. Close up so you can really get a look at the details. And then on this side, the same piece, but in its entirety, so you can see it. And I have been a busy bunny making lots and lots of new pieces. So you will be seeing some of these at the Artist Project if you come. But it was really exciting to finally get a chance to really put the hammer down on making collages. This one here, it's called No Downside, and it's called that because I figure you could hang it whichever way you like, because or you could switch it from whichever way you feel like. So I am getting a print made of that, and I'm going to put hanging hardware top and bottom so you can just switch it whenever you like. So I won't belabor this, but I'm really excited about it as usual. I know several of you guys have bought my books in the past. Thank you for that. I really try my damnedest to make sure the reproductions are good. This piece is one of the ones I did for the Union Hotel. So this one's not for sale, it's a commission, but I wanted people to see it in the book. Same with this one. Whoops, sorry. And this one. And this one. So, and then this is, I think this is the last piece in the book. So yeah, so I'm excited. So that will be available for $55 at the Artist Project. And then once I've caught my breath after the Artist Project, I will get it up for sale on my website for those of you who don't come. So thank you, Rebecca, for the reminder to like. And Annie says she's been to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico 15 years ago in the month of May. It was perfect for us. My daughter was only 4, food available anytime, bit windy, but great weather and pools. Awesome. Annie says, love your new book. Thank you. There will be one for you, Annie, if you're coming. Awesome. Thank you, Carol. Rebecca says she also went to a resort with her parents and sister many years ago. Lots of Mexican girls would come to my high school. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, so, I mean, especially now, I mean, it's been this way for a while, but Mexico and Canada sort of share this, we're sort of beside this behemoth that is the United States, and of course that relationship is fraught now, isn't it? But yeah, so we sort of share that sort of being mice next to the elephant. All right, so what do I have in mind for my collage? So I grabbed some things off the internet. This is I'm not sure what you would call it. It's kind of like a coat of arms, but not really. An emblem, maybe, that's in the middle of the Mexican flag. And then I also just grabbed a bunch of some Mexican. These are actually AI generated. but you know, maybe I'll use them anyway. And then I thought, and this is just a black and white pattern, but these are sort of Mexican florals. And these are some of the folklorico dancers. So I actually was able to find some decent photographs. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is some kind of a maybe a collage and decollage, sort of blur that boundary a little bit. So not sure exactly what that looks like, but I thought this kind of stuff could be underneath. And then I printed two options because I wasn't sure which of these I wanted to work with. They're both really good. This one has such a great shape to the like swoop of the dress like this. It's so dramatic. This is pretty dramatic too, but the edges are harder to find. But I think I'm going to use this one. I may make two. When have I said that before? Like, all right, Kat, how about just do one, right? Rather than taking on the world and not getting anywhere. All right, so I'm going to also just pick a few colors that I think would be interesting to play with. And I have this idea that it's really half-baked, but the idea is to do a bit of collage and decollage. So yeah, I'm not even sure what that looks like, but what I'm going to do is put a few decollage layers down and then maybe do a collage, a simple collage on top, and then cut through to the layers. So it's a bit of both, and we'll see how that goes. And I thought, you know, grab some flat colors that would look good with this. And I think that's one of them. Whoops. And I mean, you know me, I love my fluorescent colors, and it's actually pretty appropriate. They're like Mexican folk art and dress and so on. Traditional dress certainly has lots of really strong, delicious color. So I just thought that would be a good thing to play with. Like a warm yellow, like a sort of orange yellow. Is that orange or is that orange yellow? Let's pull it out and see. Orange yellow, that's good. That's sort of what I was looking for. There's plenty of red in this already, so I think maybe I don't need that. And maybe I'll start with a black base. So, all right. So I'll get that started. And what are you guys thinking? Are you guys playing with, what kind of imagery are you playing with? Are you working with collage, decollage? Let us know in the comments. And I will, excuse me, I'll check the comments in just a few minutes. I just want to get underway. So just whenever I do a collage, I don't know, it's kind of like this thing that I like to have a base of black. I guess it's kind of like the bedrock of my collage or decollage. especially if it's decollage and I'm digging down through layers and I hit the black, it's like, well, that's the last resort. You can't go any deeper. So. This was a pretty strongly horizontal image, so I thought I'll just print two of them on the same page, and they can find their way into the mix. You know, if I had been smart, I would have printed a page of like, I don't know, like text in Spanish that was like, I don't know, a national poem or written by a famous Mexican writer, but didn't have that thought until now. So too late for this particular iteration, but that's fine. I'm just looking at what I've got and thinking about it. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to pile stuff up and hope for the best. And then I'm going to try and play on the top layer a bit more than I usually do with decollage, rather than just digging through it. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a composition on the top layer. One of the pieces that I did for the artist project that intrigued me was it only had 2 or 3 layers, and it was basically a collage. But then I thought, well, there are 2 or 3 layers there, so I can remove some of these top layers, which was an image. I don't have a lot of options. I had like 2 things below it, but it was kind of interesting to have this sort of be able to go both ways. And there's no reason you couldn't anyway, but I guess I hadn't done that very much yet. So, you know, it's always about, for me anyway, and I think for anyone creative, it's like finding the options for new ways of working and thinking. And I kind of think working and thinking are sort of, they're synonymous, right? I mean, there are kinds of thinking that don't involve work, like actual physical work, and then there are kinds of work that really don't involve much thinking. But I think for art, they're kind of really intertwined, and really. So the whole idea of thinking with your hands, I find that is, once my hands are working, my brain starts working, which that's not always true. Of course, I may have like the kernel of an idea before I start, but once I start doing stuff, then the ideas start flowing. And then there's also the alternate, the opposite, right? Like you do a bunch of work, and then you need to look at it and think about it, figure out what potentials are there, what do you like, what don't you like, what about this is interesting. So I'll get another couple of things glued down, and then I'll check in with comments. I didn't realize I printed two different, probably did, two different dark patterns, so that's good. I can choose between those two. This is something as an artist and graphic designer, I never could wrap my head around is how certain things like flags could be so unrigorous in terms of their execution or their variation, right? Like this is a stock photograph that I found online of the flag, right? And that's nice. Okay, it's got like the red and green. That's cool, and you can see the seams. But look at how different these are. Like the snake is a different execution. These leaves are wildly different colors. This eagle has like several different colors. This has two other than the yellow. It's like, wow, like standardize it, guys. This drives the designer in me crazy, right? But of course you can't, right? Because this, whichever, I think this is the standardized one. This is probably the one that everyone, that is the official one. But then you can't stop people doing whatever they're going to do, right? So, and yeah, so it's like, be consistent with your brand. Anyway, there's a little designer rant for you. All right, I'm going to check in with the comments, guys. Janice says the book looks fantastic. Thank you, Janice. I appreciate that. And Annie says, Anne says, looking forward to the art show. Yeah, me too, for sure. I somehow missed that comment of yours, Anne. Sorry about that. So you're probably all just busily collaging, that is the goal. So that's great. All right. I kind of feel like I need. I'm gonna put in, I kind of feel like, well, my top image that I have in mind is that. So it has a lot of dark, so maybe more light options coming through, but sometimes you want a different dark too, so I'll include some darks as well. All right. I know it's kind of like watching paint dry, so hopefully you're busy making your own collages, and that's more interesting than just watching me glue down flat sheets of color over and over again. All right, we have two of these. I think I like this one better, so I'm going to use that. I think this one's kind of, I said they're both AI. They both are actually kind of taking the idea that they might be embroidered to look like embroidered. But I like this one better, so I'm going to use it on top, I think. And I'll bury this other one for possible discovery. I don't think I put yellow in. Well, I might have further down, actually. But I want, yeah, what's it, kind of an orangey yellow? Is this a clearer yellow? It's hard to tell until you get it out of the package, especially if it's beside a different color sheet in the package that's the colors reflecting on it. So. I never used to really understand color reflection, and I had an instructor, and some of you guys may have taken courses with him as well, Brian Smith. I think he's now, if he's doing any teaching anymore, it's very infrequent. I think he's basically retired. But what he did was he showed us. I was taking a course. It might have been painting from the model or drawing from the model. I forget which. It involved color, so it was probably painting. And what he did was he said, "All right, everyone, look at the model and look underneath her chin. And look at what color it is." And then he brought a big piece of, like, I think it was blue or light blue cardboard and put it under her chin, a little bit below. And the light was hitting that and reflecting up under her chin. And the color under her chin changed from being sort of a fleshy tone to being very, very blue. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Not just light reflects, but color reflects too. And it's so interesting, right? And it really just kind of wakes you up as far as what, like, there's stuff you don't see unless you know to look for it. And that's a perfect example of that. That really surprised me. So, like, I never used to understand why painters used blue in the shadows of snow scenes until I started seeing it for myself, right? And if the sky is blue and the snow is white and reflecting the sky, but it's not getting blasted out by really strong light in the shadows, it's not as, the light isn't as strong, then it makes sense that it's blue, right? So interesting. All right. Do I know what I'm doing? Nope, but I'm going for it anyway. All right. I'm thinking that I'm going to cut at least some things of her out. This blade feels dull. And I know why, because I was cutting the foam core and the paper for my sign for my for the artist project with it, and so of course it's dull now. So get rid of that and start fresh. That's better. And with this, I'm kind of thinking that I might. It's kind of funny. I don't know where the sentence is going because I actually don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to cut parts of her out. I'm going to cut her figure and then maybe part of the skirt, but maybe not the skirt, the part that's behind her. And then I'm just going to start playing with things and see where that goes. I have to remember where I stopped. I think it's here. All right, which edge? Because the skirt goes in front of her and behind her, but I think I'll go down this edge. And now I'm losing the edge because it's becoming coming out to the edges, so it's becoming part of what goes behind as well. So hopefully this works. Well, works is it's just trying things, right? So, and that's a good thing. All right. Wow, really elaborate braids she's got on. Oh, I guess because she's got like a ribbon braided into it, but it's very, very carefully done, boy. I don't have the time or the patience or the hair for that. So at least she's doing it. Trying to figure out where her hair stops and her skirt starts because they're the same colors, black and red, as each other. And I think this thing is actually part of her headdress. So I've cut part of it off. Hopefully not. Hopefully I can get the rest of it. All right. Wow, her earring's like swinging like crazy, and I can see it pulling her ear. That's pretty funny. Some people pull your leg, other people's pull your ears. All right. Flip it over to see where I'm actually at. All right. So I need to So oftentimes when I'm thinking about doing a collage and thinking about what to cut out and how, I'll study the image. I really didn't do that this time. So I didn't figure out the pitfalls of working the way I had imagined, but hopefully they will. Hopefully I'll be able to make them work regardless. And I think actually pitfall is the wrong word because that kind of sounds like it is a big problem to avoid. And I actually think that because it's art and not medicine or not your financial well-being or whatever, the stakes are low, right? Like, of course, we're really invested in making a work we like and making it the way we want. It's important to us, but ultimately, it's our work, right? So it's good to remember that the stakes aren't as high as we sometimes make them out to be. And that will just free you up to be more artistically adventurous, right? When we worry, we sort of tighten up, right? And So instead of being brave and adventurous, we will sometimes go with what we know will work. I've been guilty of that on many occasions. Or just not try. If our creative process presents us with options, with like, oh, I could try this, then we'll go, oh, but that's not what I was. That's weird and different, and so we sort of reject it because it wasn't the plan, right? But sometimes that's exactly what you should be doing. It's a case by case thing, right? Deciding which thing is more important in any given moment. Like, should I just go with it, or should I try and push it back on track? And I think that the more creative bravery you have, the more likely you are to go, well, that isn't what I was expecting, but that's kind of cool if I look at it this way. So I'm going to try that, right? And I think that's how we sort of move forward to find things that are new discoveries. So, all right. So back to my kind of interesting ideas here. Hopefully interesting. Well, if they interest me, they're interesting, right? I'm the artist I need to please, so I'm the person I need to please. So, just have this sense that maybe something could. I'm just going to use this piece, not that it's the piece I'm looking for, but something could sort of go behind her and sort of come through her dress. Now, probably a piece of the same photograph is not such a good idea, but what else? I put most of my stuff in the lasagna classic, but that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like, and I wonder. All right, so I think I'm going to cut this woman on the black out because I think that we would see some of this stuff showing through. So I think that might be interesting. It sounds like we have a guest. Nope, not yet. But it's almost 3 o'clock, guys, so heads up. If you want tickets to this year's artist project, we're going to do that draw shortly, so get ready. Now, I thought about like a skill testing question, quote unquote, and so on, and I just thought we're just going to do a straight draw, and I'll do 2 straight draws, and so yeah, so we'll get Kim to do the draw in a minute, and so be ready if you want some tickets. I should also mention, while it occurs to me, that of course the odds are pretty good that you'll win a pair of tickets because there aren't very many of us. But if you don't and you still want to come, you can use the code Join Me 2025. I'll write it out here. And to get, I think it's only 10% off, but it's better than nothing. And it's all in capitals. So when you're buying your tickets on the Artist Project website, if you use this code, it'll get you 10% off. So, but don't buy your tickets until you know you haven't won, right? So these colors are just so so strong. I live in Brampton, and it has a very high South Asian population, and so there's at particular festivals and parades here, there are South Asian people who often have like really gorgeous, colorful costumes as well. So it sounds like Kim is here. So I'm just going to switch to the camera back to facing for a couple minutes. And
I'm 2 minutes early.
You know what? That's
Hi,
fine.
everybody.
How are you, Kim?
I'm fine.
I should get you a chair.
Did you pass the stool?
Yeah.
Looks like you're having a fun one today.
Yeah.
Mexican. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah. So I install my artist project work on Wednesday. That's my install day.
Early.
Yep, starting at between 9 and 11, and I'll probably just go until it's done. And then it opens Thursday night. But tomorrow, we're installing a small show of Kim's.
Small yet surprisingly complex.
Yeah, because of course, right? So Kim is having a show at the University of Toronto Schools, which is the school she went to high school for. And who are you showing with?
I'm showing with my old art teacher there, who Donald Boutros, who is an amazing guy, brilliant guy.
Yeah.
And was an incredible teacher and mentor. And he's going to be 92 this year. And I don't know why it never occurred to me before, but all of our time is limited, right? So, so better get on that idea of showing together. So I suggested it, and he was really keen. So that's what we're doing. So tomorrow we'll meet up at UTS, and they have a room there that they use as an art gallery, and we will be hanging alongside a Robert Rauschenberg piece.
Yeah, it's true. There's this huge, this relic, like it's
quite large, like not museum
like
scale
4 feet by 2.5 or 3 feet. So it's not small, not tiny, and that's
it's a bit extroverted.
Yeah,
but that's
it's got
okay.
a lot of color in it. So and that piece they leave up all the time. So Kim will be able
it's
to.
It's too dangerous to move it all the time.
No, my God,
they can't be doing that.
So it's actually, when you think about it, Kim's going to be able to say after
I showed with Rauschenberg.
How many of us can say that, right? I mean, wow, that's actually pretty cool. So
yeah, he doesn't know it.
All right, I need to change my glasses.
All right.
And
did you do names with the hat and everything?
No, I'm going to. All right, guys. So the first and okay, I'm just going to read comments here first. Because I missed a few. So Nellie says, "Hi, Kat. I'm watching on TV. It's 9:35 p.m. now here. I love watching you work, seeing the process and the anticipation." Yeah, you and me both with the anticipation. To see what it'll look like. Yeah, to see what'll come of it. Rebecca says, "I'm pretty tired from 9 days of documentaries at Hot Docs."
Wow.
Yeah, you guys are hardcore filmaholics.
Seriously.
So hat is off to you.
Yeah. Impressive.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about possibly doing something in reaction to a doc called "Spare My Bones, Coyote." Oh, yeah, that
really
sounds
interesting.
that does sound interesting. It's a fascinating film about a Mexican American couple and their nonprofit. They search the borderlands and recover missing people, often bodies, who are attempting to cross into the U.S. Yeah, it's so tragic. All of that.
That whole thing.
The whole thing is tragic, and also just like the way people are. I was going to say dying to get in. Yeah, quite literally.
And demonized.
Demonized when they get there, when they try to get in there. Yeah, it's like they're desperate to get in, and yet they're really not wanted, which is, yeah, it's so cruel. Kim and I did a trip. Well, it's a while ago, but we were in some of those border states. And the wall is just
2010.
The wall and its patrolling is really ugly. It's gutting actually to see it. And we didn't experience any of what they experienced, but just the infrastructure of it was just it was detestable. Yeah. But anyway, more cheerful thoughts. Hey, Kathleen, I'm glad you found your way back. I wasn't sure you did. So red, white, and green like the Mexican flag for starters. Perfect. Yeah.
Nice.
Janice says, I'm collecting all those inspiring catisms about creative bravery. Well, we all need a little encouragement, right? So yeah, collect away. Jane, yay, I'm glad you're here too, Jane. That's awesome.
Did you have an interruption in
I had
the stream?
So just so Kim knows, I moved the microphone.
Yeah, that's the kiss of death.
Yeah, and what was I thinking, right? So I'm glad a bunch of you guys found your way back. And then a bunch of people, Annie, Janice, Jane, and Rebecca say hi, Kim. So.
Hi.
All right, so we're going to do 2 draws. The first one is for a pair of tickets to Thursday night's opening at the Artist Project. And so Thursday night, it goes from 6 until 10. And what's special about the opening night? They have a whole bunch of extracurricular stuff that happens as well. There will be fashion models walking up and down the show aisles. There will be DJ sets. There are a few other activations that I can't bring to the top of my head right now, but it's more of like the opening party.
It's splashier.
Yeah. And
which is
bonus, Kim comes because Kim's stamina is not the greatest, so the shorter time is good for her. So if you can make it that night, then you'll get to see Kim. So now, everyone, if you are interested in a pair of tickets to the opening night, like if you can't make it, don't put your name in. But if you are, type your name into the comments and or just say I'm interested. I'll have your names there, right? And I will do a draw from everyone who is interested. So
we'll give that a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll give you like a few minutes. I'm just gonna
type in.
I'll let Kim take over. And
I thought I was just doing a draw here. Now I'm getting roped into.
So you chat and I'll write down names, okay? All right, so Carol Walters. Is it Waters? It's Waters, yeah, sorry.
And Lakoff.
Awesome.
And Annie Wong.
Awesome.
I wish they gave us enough tickets to give them to all of you who want to go.
But if you don't win these, you can enter again for the for the
next one.
The next one, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. And I'll just give it another minute or two if anyone else
just in case anyone's on a television and needs to move to their
find a way to
computer or something.
Type in. So,
yeah.
But you'll see. There goes Carol. There goes Anne. And there goes Annie.
Yay!
So that's a pretty good odd. Those are pretty good odds so far. Anyone else?
This is a lot better than any lottery you've ever purchased.
Yeah. Anyone else? All right, 30 seconds, and then we'll do the draw. Well, Kim will do the draw.
We need to do like a drum roll sound effect or something. Should have lined that up on your phone or something.
Yep.
Oh well.
My phone isn't even nearby. Kim was telling me you've left your phone out here. So.
Oh, here's my phone.
Okay,
we'll see if I can get a drum roll.
Yeah, we'll see whether we can get a drum roll.
Because that would be fun.
That would be fun. And it gives anyone who's on the fence or just can't quite get to their keyboard yet an extra minute.
Okay.
All right, drum roll effect, please. I'll stir the 3 names. The mic is on the camera.
Guys, it's here.
Oh, there's an ad.
Of course there is, right? Because it's YouTube.
Now I'm supposed to pick it out, aren't I? Here, you hold this.
Yep. All right, guys.
3, 2, 1. Now. Anne Lakoff.
You are the proud winner of tickets.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Anne. That is awesome. And I can't remember if I have your email address. That's one thing I do need to be able to send you the link to get your tickets. So go to my
Cat's website.
Go to my website and use the contact me form.
Type in the website on your
chat. I'll put in the my website. It's still Cal for the moment.
Yeah, we tried to fix that, but it's more involved than we could manage.
Anyone who wins tickets, so Anne first and whoever wins the next one, you have to go to my site. If I have some of you guys.
Some of your emails.
My English no so good. But I'm not sure whether I have Anne's. So go that way and just send me your email address and I will send you tickets. Awesome. So have you taken Anne out of the hat?
Yes, I have.
All right. So
what's the next one?
So the next draw is for tickets to the rest of the show. So you can use them Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And so let us know. Perfect, Anne. I presume
Annie
and Carol, you still want to be in the draw for those tickets.
Just say yes if that's the case.
Yes if that's the case. And if anyone else couldn't make the opening night but wants to be in the draw, okay, great. Thank you, guys. And anyone else who couldn't make the opening night but would like a pair of tickets to
Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, just say so, and we'll put you in this draw.
There's a lot more flexibility when you've got the whole weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a long weekend, effectively.
I guess I can just use that next time. Yeah. Cool.
Nobody else?
Oh,
come on. Somebody's got to want to go. It's an amazing event. Get tons of inspiration. You get a pair of tickets. You can go with a friend.
Yep. I think, unfortunately, we probably lost 2 or 3 people. Yeah, Janice is in in Midland, so that is too far. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I always lose a couple of people. All right,
Kathleen.
Yay.
All right,
awesome,
let's write
Kathleen.
Kathleen's name.
I'll get you on it. Get your name on there.
It's one of those great events that just takes you away from your everyday life completely for however many hours you're able to be there.
All right, Kathleen.
It kind of tanks you up creatively.
And
I've also had a lot of nice conversations with artists there.
Yeah, that, we'll do the draw in just a second, but when I was talking about what's great about the show, I failed to mention that they really make a point. The artist has to be there and has to be there for at least 50% of the time. And I think most of them are there. Like I'm there, except when I'm going to quickly scarf something to eat or
for a bathroom
break, right? Yeah. Because I'm there to talk to people.
Yeah.
And like we're all artists here. You know how fun it is to talk to other artists, and that's that sort of access and ability to have those meaningful chats is kind of what's great about it. So
yeah, we've had some wonderful conversations.
Yeah. I mean, lots of people just want to look, and
that's fine.
I'm not pushy, and I don't think most people are. Most artists are.
Most are introverts.
No, exactly. It's like, I'll talk if I have to.
Standing shyly.
Look at my pieces, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right, so it looks like we're not getting anyone else.
Okay, so we've got our 3 names.
Let me just...
I'll just mix this up while you get the drum roll going.
Yep. All right, I guess you mix and I'll pull this down.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you stop that?
Well, you could have stopped it.
I guess I could have. All right. Carol Waters, you are the winner of 2 tickets.
To the show.
Yep. There we go.
There we go.
So, congratulations. And
thank you, Annie and Kathleen,
and thank you,
for playing.
Other guys. Yeah, that's awesome. Yay, Carol. So, Carol, you'll need to go to my website and use the contact form and email me. And I will send you a link to claim your tickets. And yay for the winners.
Congratulations.
And congratulations. And I'm sorry for the other people, but at least the odds were good, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So.
And you gave them a preview of the book, I think, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Excellent.
So you can pick up.
It looks so great.
Pick up a copy of your book as well, there if you so desire.
Yeah.
So, I have. Does it go till 3:30? Yes, it does. Okay, so I've had so many technical issues. So this time, unusually, I need to leave pretty much at 3:30. I would normally like to go longer, but I have to run off to the framer and pick up my work before they close after. So, so I'm going to work for another few more minutes, and then unfortunately this time sign off more or less on the dot. So. Congratulations again to Anne and Carol.
Yep.
And I'll put those guys.
And I'll leave you guys to it.
Yep. Thank you for joining us.
Take care, everybody.
Guest artist. And I will do a little more cutting and hope you guys will do the same. Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
All right. Just going black for a minute while I get it back to the overhead position. Oh, that's really out of focus, isn't it? All right. I'll just lead its focus back down to my work surface. That should do it. All right. This is, you guys know how often I don't get much collage done because I'm yakking. Between the interruption and the giving away tickets, which is a noble cause, of course. I am getting even less done. So but that is not, as you guys know, the doing is the important part, and not worrying too much about the outcome. So the more you do, the more likely there is an outcome, right? So so I will have a start. I just won't have a finish. All right. So I hope those of you who didn't get tickets will come anyway, because I'd love to see you there. All right. So something that those of you who have taken some of my design, I think I better get some water. So those of you who have taken my a design course or two with me know how important negatives are, and this figure has some really nice negatives. She is kind of centered, but you've got this big one up here, you got a smaller one down there, and some really tiny ones in here. So apart from the centered thing, the negatives are quite nice. So I will hold on to the negative pieces in case they can come in handy. They might not, but you know, oftentimes I cut things out because that's what one does with collage a lot of the time anyway. And I end up making more interesting things with the scraps than with the piece I was cutting out. So it's kind of like cut once, get two. It's two for the price of one, because you get the thing you cut out and you get the negatives from around it. So I should, I wonder if I can find it. Yes, I can. So just for fun, this is a piece that I'm having a print made of, and the color again looks terrible on here. But so this is a cutout from a magazine of three figures who were all sort of touching each other and standing in a courtyard. And so I cut them out because I thought the negatives were really interesting, and the shadows, I included the shadows. And then when I flipped it over, this sort of star of the show was still showing through in it. So it's got a bit of that thing that's very cool about what's negative, what's positive, and even though these are figures, they are in the image that was on the backside. So so I think that's kind of really interesting. And lastly, I was talking about the idea of sort of limited palette decollage earlier. So I cut some of this figure out. I'm not sure it'll show very well, but this color and the white or the off-white are actually these pieces showing through. These are two pieces underneath. And so I removed some of her image and let those two colors show through just in some spots. So, so this is really that, like, this all sort of got started because of the idea of looking at these three figures and how great the negatives were in between. And then it just got amplified by flipping it over and like, oh, look at this cool thing that was on the other side. I mean, these are prints off the internet, right? So they just have a white background, whereas things in books and magazines often have things on the backside that might be interesting. But even then, sometimes the white pieces are really interesting. So it's that idea of like, you never know what is actually going to be the gold, right? Sometimes you think this is the gold and then this ends up being the gold, or you have what you think is a golden idea and that doesn't work out, but something you never would have anticipated becomes the piece that's really interesting. So, and I think that is what makes collage really interesting for me, is the exploration, the unknown, the finding interesting things that you couldn't count on. Actually, I shouldn't say you couldn't count on, things that you didn't even anticipate, that you didn't know until you your process revealed them. So when we know there are in a lot of parts of our life, we are I was going to say frightened of the unknown, but perhaps maybe frightened is too strong a word, but like, and sometimes we are frightened, or just concerned or worried about the things we can't control or the things we don't know what to expect. And of course, some of that is like absolutely legitimate. But with art, I kind of feel like that's where the good stuff is, right? Is in when you are discovering things, right? So I just flipped it over and just so I could see where my cuts were. And then that also made me think that, oh, you know what? I can take the figure out and sort of see the negative, which is kind of fun. So there were a couple of negatives that are just loose. So now this, some figures are much more obviously a figure than others. And when you have this this huge dress, right, that's flowing in sort of unrecognizable ways, it's harder to make out. I lost that piece, but you can sort of see it's still an interesting shape, right? Because you've got these details along here. That's probably recognizable as a head, and then the other stuff less so. But interesting shapes, right? So these pieces will definitely find their way into something. And the first thought, you have to start with your first thought and then see where you go from there. But was the idea of like, intertwining these guys in some way that is not possible, but interesting collage-wise. So, for instance, this swoop is the same skirt that is in front of her, and now it's behind her, right? So that's kind of cool. I'm not sure it reads quite that way, but that kind of thing is kind of, for me, that's interesting collage. When you do things with paper that you couldn't do with photography, right? You can do with Photoshop, but not with photography. So, but what exactly the relationship is going to be, I'm not sure. It looks like for this, it would actually be better this way, which of course, but that might be the thing. But because, yeah, I think it needs to be this way. Where does the time go? I tell you guys. Whenever I'm working creatively, I lose track of time, and it's happening again. All right, so what about, I'm going to have to wrap up soon, but I just kind of feel like I want to see some idea. Okay, I have an idea that I just want to try quickly. So this skirt goes beyond this, but if I'm going to imagine that this purple edge is actually the end of the skirt rather than just a stripe in it, because I think that will be beneficial for what I'm thinking. And what I'm thinking is, I don't want to lose that piece. There it is, because you never know, they find their way back in. But just this idea that perhaps this skirt, the line, maybe it has to be this red instead, because this has a flat edge. But this idea that like we could echo one skirt in the other. And so maybe what it is, all right, I'm going to take the purple off. I know, I'm going over time. And if you have to run now, I totally get it. As I said, I really need to run too, but I'm sort of trying to balance my desire to just try this one thing against the fact that I really have to run in a minute or two. Classic. There, that's, well, it hides too much of the, so anyway, I think there's potential there, because I like the way this sort of runs into it, but it's obscuring more of it than I hoped. And maybe I could put her head right behind so that it's just additional arms and skirt, and rather than, it's almost like one person, one head, two bodies, and that might be more interesting, but I don't know yet. It's going to have to take some work. And here's another idea that just occurred to me just now, and that is like taking her hand and sort of having them lead up to the same part. They're kind of doing the same thing, right? She's leading the way her skirt behaves with her hand. So that's actually kind of interesting. We have two hands in one, but two skirts, two bodies, two people. So there's something there maybe. And what if that came? Ooh. All right. Now we're starting to get somewhere. So that, to me, that's kind of fun because got that happening. We've got some strange interactions here. And so something like, I'll probably do some more work, but this then gets glued on top of my collage lasagna. And then I might start cutting some of this out to reveal some of this stuff. So, all right. So that's where I have to leave it. Classic. I am yet again, not finished. And I'll just see what you guys are saying. Sorry, I should have turned off the screen there for the crazy motion. Sorry, guys. Switch from my working glasses to my computer glasses. And so Rebecca said, so thanks guys. It's really nice that I see all these congratulations for each other. I love that spirit. It's a great group, so thank you. The likes aren't taking. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know why. So, but you know, YouTube sometimes is like that. So anyway, so Jane says, right, just did a little dirty ditty. Sorry. Even though I'm wearing my computer glasses, not so good. Need to enlarge it maybe. Just did a little ditty with scraps made from your abstract figure class. Perfect, right? Yeah. Took during April. I've been working in small sketchbooks, concertinas, which are perfect for scraps. Absolutely. Like there's something great about a concertina anyway. And working in miniature, I don't know, it makes it like a gem or like a postage stamp, you know, the way postage stamps, you really have to look like, give me my magnifying glass, but then it's like so rewarding, right? So it's this like tiny little delicious thing. So that's so cool. Valerie says, need to leave. Good luck at the artist project. Wish I could be there, but in Quebec this weekend. Life's tough. I totally get it. Enjoy it if you're still with us, Val. Quebec's an awesome place to be. Carol says, lots of energy in the skirts and dancers. Yeah, definitely. Hey, thanks. Janice says, love the two hands look. Yeah, me too. Sometimes it's just like you start playing and nothing. Yeah, no. That, right? And that's kind of what happened there. So Rebecca says, bye. Yeah, see you this weekend. Yeah, that's awesome. See you then, Rebecca. And Annie, you're welcome for the jam. It's always nice to see you too. And we hope we can see you there too. So meanwhile, keep collaging and hopefully I'll see some of you. I know I'll see some of you who got tickets at the Artist Project. And our next collage jam, I think I better check because I think I had a little gap. Right. So 2 weeks from today is actually Victoria Day. So it is, we take a break until May 26th, Monday, May 26th. And the theme then is in bloom because our gardens will be heading that way. So yeah, so I will see you then, if not before. And thank you so much for joining me as always. Keep collaging and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.